The company JMKMGL has sent me this 76-watt LED canopy light. It's a 2 to 300 watt equivalent incandescent, so quite bright. Now, its intended purpose is, let's say, indoor for basketball courts or some other big building like that. Or exterior, you might find these over gas station pumps or parking garages. So kind of an industrial setting. But here in my workshop, I'm going to be installing this as a bright light for my filming. So let's open the box here and see what's inside, and then we will get this installed. The size of this light is 8.5 by 8.5, which is a decent size. Instruction booklet, a couple of wire nuts, and then the light itself here. It did come in this nice bubble wrap for protection. So we'll put it back on that. So here's the light itself. It's hard to see, but there are lots and lots of LEDs on a panel in there. The light is supposed to be used in a semi-outdoor condition, meaning that it is still covered because it's not a waterproof light. So do want to have it underneath some covering because its intention is to be mounted underneath like this. So to get to the wiring, you can undo this side screw over here, and this plate will slide off like this. And this is going to be mounted to the junction box here in a bit, so that can be removed. If you're not going to be using this plate, you can also use a conduit pipe here in the middle, so it can hang down from that conduit pipe. Alright, so construction is quite robust. It's a solid metal box here, and there's really no access point to anything from this side. You could replace the plastic up here if you had to by removing the screws around the edge, and you can see there is a gasket in there to help reduce bugs and moisture. To install the light, I have a junction box here hanging from a board, and my wiring has been run and the breaker is turned off, of course, so this is not live. My junction box has two screws which I'm going to remove really quick. These will be used to mount the light to the box here. Next, I want to take the plate that came on the back of the light and get that installed here onto the junction box. And I'm going to do that by just using the screws that came with the box here. Now with the plate installed to the junction box, I'm going to use the supplied wire nuts to get the light installed. Now, because the light is a little bit heavy and awkward to work with, I have just got it wired up here just to hold it in place. If you do this, just be careful not to allow it to fall. So I'm going to simply match up black to black, white to white, and ground to ground. I like to use some black electrical tape when I wire things together, just to make sure it's held together well. Now that the wiring is done, I'm going to remove this brace that I had up here so that the light is free again. And now I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get the wiring pushed back up into the junction box here. Just because I prefer to have it safe tucked up in there. And now I'm just going to slide the box back onto the plate here. I'm going to replace the screw that goes on this side of the light. It will hold everything together here. I've just flipped the switch back on for the breaker. Let's test this thing out. Nice and bright. I like that a lot. The light is very bright. As you can see, it's the only thing turned on in the shop right now. Let me turn it off and show you what it looks like in the dark. And then whenever it's back on here. So 200 to 300 watt equivalent is quite bright. I like it a lot. I like this light a lot. Very bright. Installation was pretty simple. It's nice to have that junction box with the plate that attaches straight to that box. The light is so well made and heavy that it's nice to have somebody else with you when you install to hold it up, or like I did, use a wire or some kind of string to hold it in place while you can get those wire nuts installed. So something to consider. If you'd like to check out this light, I've got the link to it on Amazon down below. This is the 76 watt version, and the company also has a 100 watt, which would be even brighter than this one, of course. So depending on your needs. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Seth Johnson with Land House, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Think.